Hello and welcome. I'm Alan, I'm Chairman at the RPSA, and welcome to the Midweek MashUp. What's a Midweek MashUp? Well, it's my roundup of what's been going on in and around the industry over the last week. So we're going to start the first one with a bit of a catch-up, but before we do that, we hit a really big landmark. RPSA hit 500 members. That is incredible. Thank you so much. It's only down to you putting your faith and trust in us that we've managed to grow so fast. We've doubled in size in the last 6 months, but I reckon we can double in size again. You know, we're much stronger if we all work together. And what RPSA stands for is independent residential surveyors just going out and doing a great job. But we need to tell people about that. And if we join together, we've got a louder, stronger voice. So if you know somebody who is not a member of RPSA yet, just make sure you point them in our direction, www.rpsa.org.uk. And by everybody working together, we have a strong voice. We can go out and tell the public what we do. And what we do is a fantastic job. So let's shout about that. So thank you to everybody who's joined up. Make the point, though, that you don't have to give up any of your other accreditations or memberships to be a member of RPSA. You've worked very hard for some of those, which is fantastic. You know, RPSA is a different thing. We only talk about independent residential surveyors and the great job that we do. So we're very focused and specialised. But if that's what you do, then join us and we can all work together. So thank you again. And yeah, let's go on to the next landmark of 1,000 members. That's not that far away. Next thing to talk about is Facebook. Now, for some of you slightly older surveyors, maybe you're not quite so familiar with Facebook, but actually there's a lot of really interesting stuff there. And there's two groups that I want to talk to you about. The first one is the Residential Property Surveyors Network. Residential Property Surveyors Network. So that's the RPSA group on Facebook. And there we have lots of discussion. I want to make the point, though, that we welcome all contributions. We don't believe that really we should be stopping people voicing their opinion. And whether you agree with me or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Don't be rude, don't be offensive or anything like that, but you're welcome to disagree. And because that's what enriches our industry. So do feel free to join in. We'd love to hear your views, and everybody will be taken seriously. The other one is the Student Surveyors Group. So if you are a student, then the Student Surveyors Group has been set up to give you a place where you can talk privately with other students. And if you want to ask a question which you think is really dumb, then I bet you everybody else is thinking the same question, but maybe you don't want to put it on a more public forum. So the Student Surveyors Group on Facebook is another great one that you can get involved in. Now, if you haven't already come across them, the RPSA Survey Inspection and Reporting Standards. They were released last November, but they're based on the fact that we recommend that every surveyor does a full and thorough inspection. In fact, we are the only surveyors association which promotes every surveyor doing a full and thorough inspection on every single occasion. And it's a really simple message that we're trying to deliver to consumers, that if you come to an RPSA surveyor, you know you're going to get a really thorough survey. We'll check all the windows, we'll check all the taps, we'll check all the drains. We'll do as much as we possibly can. Doesn't matter what report we're doing, we're still going to do a full and thorough inspection. So head across to the RPSA website at rpsa.org.uk and go to the news section. And if you have a look in there, scroll down, you'll find all sorts of things on there, all sorts of interesting things, but you will also find the Survey Inspection and Reporting Standards. It's a really simple document. Have a read through and see what it says. And, you know, I think it's a really good message that we have there to deliver to consumers and to other surveyors. You'll also find in that news section there a link to the podcast I did recently with Phil Parnham. So you'll hear me talking about the RPSA, about the RPSA panel, about the standards. So a bit of everything really. And he asked me a lot of probing questions, and I think we came up with some really good answers. And I think, again, it's all about RPSA surveyors doing a really good, thorough, professional job on every occasion. And we can't stress that strongly enough, really, because it's a good message for consumers, isn't it? You'll also find on there a link to the Sunday Times articles that have recently come along. So we get asked quite often to contribute to the home help section in the Sunday Times. I always think as readers rights. Readers, we have to be careful with that, don't we? But it's home help. So people write in, readers of Sunday Times write in with their questions about some of the problems they've been having at their house. There was one on the Residential Property Surveyors Network Facebook group the other week that I put on there, and we got some really interesting feedback from surveyors. So yeah, we want to hear what you want to think, what you would like to answer to those people. We're happy to put it out there as well. But I think the important thing there is that the Sunday Times, which, let's face it, is a pretty respectable publication, isn't it? And they come to the RPSA because they know we give them good, clear answers all the time, and we try and be proactive in what we deliver to them. So it's great because it spreads the word and spreads the message about the RPSA, and we are finding more and more now that consumers, when they see the badge of the RPSA, they go, oh yeah, I know what that is, and we're all about promoting that for quality and professionalism. So that's fantastic. Have a read of those articles. What else has been happening? Well, cladding. There's been quite a lot in the news, hasn't there, about cladding? You know what? I don't think we can get too involved in it at this point. It is such a hot potato. It's such a difficult one to manage. Even the government are really struggling with it. But I think it's a lesson for us in that, certainly if we're looking at buildings over 18 metres, then really, be very cautious. And if there's any cladding involved, then make sure that you're alerting everybody to that. So just take note of it and what's going on. Something that we've been working on at the RPSA for quite a long time now is some proper snagging standards for new build property, because there are none. And that just seems crazy. So understandably, builders are reluctant to let surveyors on site because they've got no idea what sort of snagging survey they're going to be doing. Now, you might have noticed in the press just a few days ago an announcement about the New Homes Quality Board. This fits in with the New Homes Ombudsman. But we've been working with the New Homes Quality Board, who are producing a new code of practice for builders. And within that code of practice, what we hope it's going to say is that builders will have to allow consumer, the buyer of the new home, to commission an independent inspection of the condition of that new property. And that's a snagging survey. So we've been working to try and create some standards so that we can all work in a common way. And hopefully that's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us to do snagging surveys. There's still a way to go before that becomes part of the established mechanism of buying a new house. But RPSA has been working really hard on that over the last couple of years now. But we seem to be getting somewhere, which is fantastic. So that could be a whole new area of work that we've opened up. The other one that we could be opening up is it's to do with property logbooks. Now, you might know a property logbook by a different name. A home information pack. Yes, they're coming back. I know, we've all been round the mill, haven't we? Home information packs in a different guise are probably coming back as property logbooks. So this will be a pack of information which an owner or seller collects about a property. Yeah, it's all familiar, isn't it? But what's one of the most important things in there is a survey. So we're looking about how we could create a survey to go into a home information pack or property logbook, sorry. But I think, one of the things that we've got to be mindful of is that a lot of buyers don't trust a survey commissioned by a seller. So we're looking at ways at how we could deal with that and how we can be a little bit more creative in delivering that. So yeah, that's something to watch, and I think it's something that's going to be coming down the line. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a bit of a slow burn, but there definitely seems to be a move within the industry to look at upfront information and making sure that we deliver good information to people buying houses. That's pretty much it for today. Well, just one last thing to mention: asymptomatic testing for COVID. So you might not have any symptoms of COVID, but if you're going out doing surveys in people's houses, could you be putting them at risk? Could you be carrying COVID? So I'll be talking to the Ministry of Housing about how we could perhaps make some arrangement for surveyors to get tested. At the moment, there's only really testing being organised for larger businesses of 50 or more people, and there isn't really sort of a more ad hoc testing process available. But it's something that I think is quite important, and certainly as we come out of lockdown and as we start to open up things, we want to be sure of doing our bit to play safe. So we're going to be looking at that and working with Ministry of Housing to see what we can do there. So that's a little roundup of what's been going on this week. I'll catch up with you again next week. Meanwhile, Keep well, keep safe. It looks like we're going to have some good weather this week, which is really nice if you're out doing surveys. So have a good time. And yeah, I'll catch up with you again very soon. Thanks for joining me. Cheers. Bye for now.